He coaches the number one loan officer in America. He coaches two of the top 10 golfers in America. He coaches three of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, plus Major League. You name the sport, he coaches them. He just finished his 31st straight Boston Marathon. I know if you engage for the next 60 minutes into what Jonathan Roche has to say, that you will not only feel better, feel more positive, but you'll actually learn his three keys for helping make your competitors invisible. So regardless of what you do in life or in sales, this is an opportunity for you to improve. Welcome everyone to another Win by Noon Loan Officer Mastermind. It is not often that I get a little peek behind the curtains before we start this, but I am honored. It's my privilege to have my personal coach, Jonathan Roche, here. Now, you are all fans, I know, of Jonathan. Those of you, though, who are not familiar with Jonathan, let me just give you kind of my background, and then I'll let Jonathan actually fill in the gaps. But I feel like the one thing that I found in 25 years of getting business coaching was lack of mindset coaching. And I felt that there was this huge gap that I'd learned all the basics. I learned the tactics. I learned the actions. I learned a business plan, life plan, all the things I needed. But I still oftentimes woke up with not the positive attitude and the energy that I want to have every day. And I've been super fortunate to be coached by Jonathan Jonathan, it's been 4 or 5 years. And what I find when I coach with Jonathan is just a different opportunity that I get to jump on and have someone really pour into my life to speak, not just to am I doing the things, but really am I doing the things with the energy, the enthusiasm, and really pouring love and gratitude into others as needed. There's a unique piece of Jonathan. He coaches, he won't ever tell you who, so don't ask, but he coaches, some of the top pro golfers, Major League Baseball, NFL starting quarterbacks. You name the sport, Jonathan probably coaches someone at the top. So without further ado, welcome Jonathan Roche.
Thanks, Todd. Fired up to be on with you and pour into the audience for an hour here. And yeah, I'll just say for the audience, I've been blessed to serve the mortgage industry for over a decade now. I spoke at Sales Mastery for the first time in 2014. Spoke at that event for 5 straight years. I've been also blessed to coach Sean Panosian, who's top originator in your entire space. We just actually hit 5 years of coaching. He's an awesome human being who happens to be a brilliant business person as well. So we don't want you to bail after 90 seconds. But let me give you 90 seconds that would be worth the entire hour and ideally be an inflection point in your life, particularly if I haven't been blessed to serve you before. At the end of the day, in simplest terms, we're all our own head coach. For about 120 hours a week, we're awake. So the question is, up until, what's today, May 29th of 2026, who have you been coached by? And I don't mean like, I got this performance coach, Jonathan, or I got this business coach, whatever. I don't mean that. In your own head, who have you been being coached by? Because we all have a negative voice and a positive voice in our head. And some of what we're going to cover today is these 5 different self-coaching choices that everyone has, whether you're a professional athlete, a mailman, a world-class mortgage advisor, a rock star mom. It doesn't matter what your playing field is. We're all coaching ourselves in one of 5 ways. The greatest opportunity you have to have a blast in life and to serve your family, your team, families that you're ideally blessed to serve in the marketplace as a world-class mortgage advisor. The best thing you can do for all of that is to coach yourself up. You got to coach yourself up. Like if you're not going to coach yourself up, ideally you get, again, you have some other coach or your spouse or your partner's cool or your boss or whatever. Yeah, they'll pour into you, but those are like crumbs. Like you're the head coach for 120 hours. Todd included, I'm blessed to coach him. It's 30 minutes a week. And that's not to degrade my service, but it's like, yeah. And I'm not a motivator. That's not my deal. I'm a coach. I guide world-class people like Todd and Sean in building and sustaining world-class mindsets and then operating like professional athletes outside of the office. So when you go in the office, you're ready to rip it.
I think there's so many people who are listening to this or here live with us who know what to do and they're just not executing at that level. And that's why I think exactly what you're going to talk about, how to coach yourself through it, is really going to be the differentiator from someone feeling stuck where they're at to actually just crushing the rest of 2026.
Yeah, I think like Todd and I were talking about this in our coaching call the other day, but this next one also is a potential inflection point in your life if you hear it correctly, which is I believe all business, particularly as a mortgage advisor, comes down to 2 things: energy and enthusiasm. Energy, positivity. Like we like to be around energetic, positive people. So that's number one. Number two is enthusiasm. And you go, enthusiasm? Yeah, enthusiasm. My definition of enthusiasm is eagerness to serve. Are you eager to serve these families that you're blessed to serve in the marketplace or potential families? Are you eager to serve your real estate professional partners? I think it's a super positive thing, which is you can't fake either of those things. You can't like watch a video in the parking lot and be like, you know what? I'm going to go in and be energized and enthusiastic with this with this real estate professional partner or with this family or before I jump on the Zoom. It's not going to take you to where you deserve to be. Energy and enthusiasm are built when the lights are off. There's no fancy coaching. All my stuff's super basic. It's basic and it flat out works. I've been coaching for 25 years. Energy and enthusiasm. You actually get compensated to feel awesome. So that you're energized and enthusiastic and fired up to bring it. Then ultimately the byproduct of that is earning the opportunity to serve these families. But your job is to feel awesome. And yes, I realize I'm not talking to a professional athlete. We all our jobs are to feel awesome. So the question is, up through now, have you been treating yourself like a professional athlete in nurturing your energy and your enthusiasm so you can bring that as one of your key differentiators? Once you do that, it's game over. Now, there's no quick fix on that, but that's it. People go, oh no, I got to have the script, I got to do this. Yeah, you can't like be in right field and have no clue what you're doing because the family's feeling, all right, does she know what's up? Does she really knows what she's doing or what he's doing? But ultimately, do we like him or her? We like being around him. Am I in a better mood after I connect with Todd or with Lisa or Susie or whoever? They might not articulate it to each other, but they're feeling it subconsciously. Do they like you? They like being around you. Are you fired up to serve them? Todd, you want to throw anything in on any of that?
Well, I think you all know this, right? And innately, you've been around the person that Jonathan's talking about. And hopefully, it's when you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing yourself. But the bottom line is, we get around people who have the energy, enthusiasm that Jonathan's talking about. And we're like, oh my gosh, like this person makes me feel so good. And so I think that's, ultimately it. You're right. I mean, you've got to have that to show up to be awesome for your folks. And I think that's why this conversation is so important, and it's why I love getting on the phone with you, because I need that refresher. As much as I like to say, I feel like I'm to have someone pouring this into me as the reminder to keep me on the positive and have the energy, enthusiasm I need is just such a critical piece. So I love it. And I know you always, are self-deprecating and say this is basic, but it's foundational is what I call it. So I think there's a difference between basic and foundational.
Yeah, awesome. I'll mention something, and English is it is my first language, but I'm still butchering it, right? But so the sentence might not be great, but your energy and enthusiasm is what enables you to delay the mortgage conversation. So if you're not like locked in, you don't feel awesome, you're not fired up to serve these families or vibe with the real estate professional partner, then you're very quick to talk about mortgages. But I think the person that speaks about mortgages first loses. Like if you're not able to vibe with the Smiths about their kids or what are they doing this weekend, or I love the question like, what's the most exciting thing you're working on right now, either personally or professionally? Like even a negative person not gonna be like, I'd like to complain about some stuff first before we cover anything exciting. And then they start talking about something exciting. Oh, well, my sister's coming over. We haven't seen her in 6 months and she hasn't seen the kids. Oh, that's awesome. What are you guys gonna do? And then it's like, then you're just vibing with this other human and making a connection. But if your energy's low and you're not enthusiastic, it's tough to have that meaningful conversation. It's earned in advance. And I think that's really important. Again, I've had a front row seat on the leaders in your industry, including Todd, including Sean, and they operate at a different level. But a key part of that is that all this work is being done when the lights are off so they can show up. Like I can look you guys straight in the eye. I've been coaching for 25 years. I have never once in my office ever had to get up for a call. Kid you not. But I also water, sleep, nutrients, positive content. I operate like a professional athlete, even though I'm 54 years young. I do. Because I don't ever want to have that conversation with myself in this office. I won't do it to Todd. I won't do it to Sean. I won't do it to these pro athletes. You deserve to raise your bar to that level. And negative voice doesn't like that. Like, oh, it sounds so serious. And I just want to chill. Like it's Friday night. I want to have my beers and my wine or whatever. It doesn't mean like, nope, you have to eat salad and go to bed at 8 o'clock. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about raising your standards and expectations about how you want to feel and how you want to show up. Because we're either lifting people up around us or we're potentially bringing them down. Most importantly, our home team. So the question is, are you lifting your home team up or are you bringing them down? It's Friday and looking at your daughter's art thing. Check it out. I can't believe you did this. I know it's a giraffe. I love that giraffe. Like you can't fake that. And here's the cool thing. It's a complete controllable. Oh no, I can't afford a gym membership. No, no, again, negative voice, thanks to the input. You don't need to just do some push-ups and sit-ups, go run, do whatever, walk. It's all controllable. Your energy and your enthusiasm are 100% controllable. So some of you maybe might not like the candor, like, gosh, he's like hammering me right now. I care about you. I want to serve you. Like, we're not here to tell you what to do. What world-class leaders do, they tell you how to do it. We're not saying, here's the script, say this for the Smiths. What I'm saying to you as your performance coach for this hour anyway is go all in on your energy and your vibe. Layer that on top of all the brilliant scripts and strategies and wear your great shirt or your suit or whatever. And then, boom, go bring that. And no, I don't want to talk about that. Who are we serving today? Like, I'm fired up. Who are we serving? Well, we could call these people. Okay, then call them. But if you're not in a good state, I don't know, maybe I'll call them. I don't know. It's getting late on Friday. I think I'll call them Monday. And you continue to spectate on your potential. That's more irritating than a slow market. Like you go, oh no, the market's been slow and it's been tough 2 years. No, 10 times more irritating than that is knowing in your heart you're not being who you deserve to be. Thoughts on that, Todd?
Oh, I just put big stars around that. Spectate on your potential. That is wild. And I think that's the hardest thing, Jonathan. I mean, for me, I always say for Win by Noon, my goal is to help people reach their potential, whatever they believe it to be. And what I find is oftentimes when I ask people what they believe it to be, they don't have clarity on that, which is always surprising to me and maybe a little sad. And I think that one of the challenges of the mortgage space is I don't think everyone wants or needs to be $100 million producer. I know some people who just would love to be a solid, consistent $25 million producer and then be able to take the vacations and all the things that we're talking about. So I think that you don't overlook what Jonathan's saying when he's saying energy, enthusiasm, and discount, because I think in the end, I know you're going to walk us through, really how to be that coach to yourself, be that person who's pushing you yourself every day so that you can block out the other things and show up as you want to.
Yeah, you just made a huge point for the audience, which is only our negative voice thinks we need to go to like the top of the mountain and then we better go and we're going to be $100 million producer or we're going to have some fancy house or this car or whatever. More time on this planet, right? I've got 54 years. The more reps you have, the more you realize a couple things. Simplicity wins. We don't need more stress. We need things to be simple. So my view is you're killing it if you love what you do. You feel awesome doing it. You're bringing your best self to your family, and you get to take some vacation time here and there. You go, what about all the other stuff? Okay, if that's your deal, you want to go. We're going to go to the top of the mountain, or I'm going to do 100 million. Okay, cool. There's something beautiful about attaining. It's a term I use all the time with athletes. I use it with Todd and executive clients as well, which is mental lightness. Like, honey, what do you think of the term mental lightness? She'd be like, what? I feel good, right? Like I'm just mentally like light. You go, okay, that's it. Let's go play soccer in the backyard. Like a little kid can understand that. We all want mental lightness. But mental lightness, back to this idea of potential, mental lightness is attained when we end a day knowing we left it all out there. It doesn't even like maybe you went over. You're like, that wasn't good, man. It was like a Friday, I was all fired up this morning, and then end of the day, crickets. I know, but if you made all these calls, at least that night you go, all right, you know what though? I did what I said I was going to do this morning. Like I think I deserve to feel like I'm moving in the right direction. Yeah, you do. Results will take care of themselves. There's this lag, but there's a lag between effort and results. The effort to results gap, excuse me. More careers, including professional athletes, have imploded in that gap. Because we live in an instant gratification society, right? No, there's a certain amount of effort that might not show up in your results. A lot of times, 5, 10 years. I don't know if I have it in me. Do you want to drown in the ocean of regret later in life? I don't like that term. No, seriously. Do you want to drown in the ocean of regret later in life?
No, heck no.
It's a brutal term. Nobody does. So we deserve to embrace the effort to results gap, which is sometimes that effort and effort and effort. And then all of a sudden it's like, man, I've been working on that same real estate professional, the top one in my whole space for 3 years. And out of nowhere, she like texted me. It's like you kept chopping on the tree, chopping on the tree, chopping on the tree. Like, boom, she's in. Get the meeting. And a lot of times we just deserve to embrace that effort to results gap if nothing more, so that we can attain mental lightness and know we're moving towards our potential. And when we do that, and you keep repping this thing out and simplifying and optimizing your systems, you can't guarantee results, but you can guarantee the likelihood of results. Todd, thoughts on any of this?
Well, you know, it's funny that you said 3 years. It took 3 years, but I can tell you that the two biggest relationships that my mortgage team has today were relationships that took 3 to 3.5 years to get. And it was playing the slow game. I always laugh. When I stopped doing loans day to day 10 years ago, I lost my number one referral relationship because he really liked the guy. He didn't like the guy that took over my business. Everyone else loved him, but he was, 90% of me. But my guy thought, well, he's not 100% Todd and didn't give us business. But I kept my relationship with them. I kept my friendship with them. 10 years later, guess what? Just got a lead from him 2 days ago to my team. And he's like, Todd, I've just missed you so much. And I feel like I got to trust the decisions you made and the people you have on your team. But it's the fact that I've been consistent in my communication. And so I think that's where, you kind of nailed it. There's just that lag that we feel like, oh, I haven't talked to that person, haven't heard from them. They never called me back. But, the fact that I've actually texted Alan, what do I text about? I text him about basketball. He's an NBA guy. He loves the Phoenix Suns. That's what I text him about. And then, and I record a video on what's going on in the market. I send that to him too, but it's the other stuff first, but it's consistency. And I think that that's such a great reminder as we're kind of going down this path is that, what did they say? Rome wasn't built in a day. And that's where, I used to fall prey to that too, where I tried and tried and tried for like a week or two, and then I gave up. Well, guess what? It's a year or two now that you need to try and try in order to get there. And guess what? You're going to win because the other person who was doing the same quit after a week or two. I can't believe that Jonathan's been calling me, every couple of weeks for 3 years now. I'm going to give him a shot.
I'll just mention something real quick, which is unless someone says, stop calling me, like pretty much like you creep me out, stop, literally like stop, then it's still a pending yes. The whole point of today's discussion is being your own extremely positive self-coach, coaching yourself up. And you coaching yourself up is like, no, every no or not right now is a delayed yes until they again tell you like, okay, creep me out, step back, we're good. But if you come from that angle, you keep delivering value in follow-up, then ultimately it's like, this guy's an animal, or like Lisa's a beast. She keeps sending me his notes and articles and everything else. And then ultimately like, all right, let's at least go to lunch there to see what's up. And then hypothetically, Lisa's already built her brand with that potential real estate professional partner because she's shown what her persistence looks like, her commitment, her follow through, her communication. So it's like there's already been like a trial run before that real estate professional even gives you as a mortgage advisor the opportunity to partner with them. So you think all this time's been wasted. It's like, no, it's actually been your tryout. Todd, Dave, you want to jump in on any of that?
And then I'll just say I do think that they view it as a tryout. I think that's really critical. I was talking to my business partner yesterday, told him I was excited that we had gotten that referral from that person who had sent it. He's like, it's really funny. I'm going to speak to a team meeting today from someone who has had a really long relationship, but their loan officer didn't like how the loan officer was showing up and challenging them in talking to the listing agent when they put in offers. And I go back to the fact that I said, I'm sending out these videos. I don't care if they watch the video, right? Gary Keller said when he did his 33 touch and he sent a postcard, he said, well, they see my face as they're throwing it in the trash. So again, if I text them a video, right, they see the thumbnail of my smiling face waving to them as they open it because they don't want it to have that little number. They might not listen to it, but they saw me, they thought of me. And then maybe the next time they're like, I wonder what's going on with the market. And they'll listen to that video.
I haven't heard the entire opening, but I've heard enough to know that we're talking about being relentless. I heard follow up. I heard just overcoming obstacles. And, in the process of writing this book, The Savage Code, I've, become this personal code nerd. And every time I'm talking to someone, I'm like, what's their code? When I think of myself, my strengths and my weaknesses, I'm like, the strengths, they're driven by code. Like my spirit animal, which, Jonathan, I don't think you know this, but I named my Tesla the honey badger because I've always just like, I don't give a shit. Like if I want something, I'm going to go after it. And then I have other codes like no one's gonna outwork me. I'm never gonna give up. Any guesses on what his spirit animal is? The Wolverine. And it's a mentality. And so I would just push everybody listening to the call so far. If you are one of those, I never give up and follow up fortunes are in the follow-up. And on a scale of 1 to 5, I give myself a 5 on follow-up. It's because of your code. Like you have the right code to be a follow-up animal. If you are someone that, again, better than anyone else knows that follow-up is a weakness, there's just a missing code. There's some missing principle, belief that you have that's putting you into that mode.
All right, so let's jump in, and feel free, obviously, Dave and Todd, to guide the conversation or jump in with any questions on it. But we're going to cover these 3 keys to making your competitors invisible. And that might sound like a rah-rah statement, but it's really 3 key things. And when you master these 3 key things, they actually do make your competitors invisible. Not like in an arrogant, I'm the man way, which is annoying, but in a highly confident, I know the value I bring to the marketplace, like knowing it, not theorizing it, knowing it, based on, like Dave's talking about, your code. Like, this is how this person operates. This is how she does it. This is how he does it. We're going to talk about these 3 key things. We're going to start with number 3 and go in reverse order. So number 1 is embrace extremely positive self-coaching. Like, Dave, before you jumped on, I talked about this idea. We have 120 hours a week that we're awake, that we're coaching ourselves up. So we don't want to just be a positive coach to ourselves. We want to be an extremely positive self-coach. By the way, extremely positive sounds like you have some creepy fake smile on. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the internal conversation being very elevating, forward-thinking, coaching yourself like you coach your best friend. You want to have a blast in life? Be an extremely positive self-coach. That's number 1. Number 2 is use your gift. You say, what do you mean use your gift? Gratitude. Like, we have all these gifts, but a lot of times we're so focused on what we don't have, and then we forget, like, we're killing it. It's Friday, it's sunny, we're healthy. Negative voice, well, we're having trouble paying the bills. Yeah, I know, they didn't shut the lights off yet, though. Guess what? We got lights in here. Good living, food in the fridge. Like, positive voice, like, no, we're in it. We're in it. If we were going to quit, we were going to quit earlier. It's been 2 years. I want to quit now. We can almost see the finishing banner. Like, gratitude, use your gift. And then, number 3 is remembering who you are. You got to remember who you are. We've talked about this when I've been on in the past, but some of you have forgotten who you are. And you never listen, what do you mean, who I am? What does that mean? Who you are, like how much you've overcome, how much you've fought through. I love the question, what's your survive the tough times record? Right? If you think about like sports, right? Like, all right, if we look at our lives, all the times we're like getting nailed, whatever, personally, professionally, financially, whatever. Okay, what's your record? Every one of us, every one of you guys watching this right now, and Dave and Todd and I, we're undefeated. Literally, we were undefeated. Are you breathing? Are you looking at this right now? Actually, you are undefeated. You got up again. So you're undefeated, which means you're a warrior. Some of you are forgetting these dragons that you slayed in your past. Think in terms of these dragons you slayed in the past on your journey, personally and professionally. They don't compare to some of your situations right now. Like, you're an absolute freak. I use that term in a complimentary way, by the way, like a freaky athlete or a freaky business person. No, you're like an absolute freak. You can take a punch. And some of you have forgotten who you are. So you're trying to be resilient, and it's almost like you're trying to fend off that negative voice each day and get back in the arena. It's like, how about you go and look in the mirror, remember who you are? Like that time that you thought that it was all over and you figured it out. And that, you want to feel powerful, you can be absolutely beat down, exhausted, stressed, like, oh my gosh, she's looking banged up right now. You can get up if your head's in the right spot. If your perspective's right, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That dude, he's right. I am a warrior. Like, excuse the language I'm going to use. We were screwed. I thought our host was going to get foreclosed. Like, we figured that out. Or like, our host did get foreclosed. We were in this crappy apartment, but look at, now we're in this place and we might be renting right now, but I know we're going to be able to buy again. Everyone has their journeys, right? Dave and Todd have had their windows. I have. Every person on this planet has taken a bunch of punches. Right now, probably the best gift you can give yourself is to remember who you are. Dave, Todd, thoughts on that?
Todd, you want to go first?
No, I was going to let you go since you were late to the party.
Well, I mean, the word gratitude, I mean, I feel like that is the master code to everything. And when I think of all the personal codes that surround that, that is the difference between people that are living in a state of gratitude and those who aren't. And all of us, myself included, while I feel that living in a place of gratitude is one of my strengths, I fall outside of it all the time, every day. every hour you have to just constantly, be living in a way that you are living in a place of gratitude. And in this mortgage space right now, I mean, it is easy to be challenged. And I am seeing a major divide between the people that are growing and the people that are really killing it in this market and the people that aren't. And there are people that are killing it in this market and they're living in a place of gratitude. So I just push everybody to get there. Can't pay the bills, but the electricity is on and we got some food in the refrigerator. No matter how tough it is, there's always things to celebrate.
Because we talk about this positive and negative voice. And, the one thing, one of the things that Jonathan rates me on is what's my percent of positivity in a week since our last conversation. And what I found since I've been tracking that, right, and really focused on it, I mean, for me, gratitude is what pulls me out of that negative, right? There's often times where I'm like, oh gosh, felt like I got another arrow shot at me. And then I'm like, oh wait, but I'm grateful for this opportunity. And so it's to me, that is, you said the master code, Dave. I think that to me has been the thing. How quickly, A, do I recognize that I've gone negative, and B, push it to the positive. And I think the other part is just what you said, Jonathan, number 3, remembering you're 100% undefeated, right? You're still here, you're still going, and you get knocked down, you lose a deal, you get mad because someone else beat you out on rate, and you know what? That's all right. You're still here. You get to go and fight for the next one.
Yeah, I love that. I'll just add on for the audience. There's a word that gets a bad rap, and as soon as I say it, you may go, which is pride. Like a lot of times, people think pride is ego. And actually, pride is ego when you're on Instagram, like, look at my car, or blah, 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 whatever. But the reality is, pride is an internal conversation and an internal sense of being proud of what you have overcome and what you have done in the past. So it's pride, it's being proud of who you've become and what you've overcome. Not like an arrogant, look at me, I'm the man or the lady. No, like this sense of like, I can't believe we pulled that off. Like the coolest part of all of you watching this right now, and it's tough right now because you're like, not while I'm in it. But I know from like, I'm blessed, right? I've done 12 Ironman, I've done 31 straight Boston Marathons. I understand what it feels like mentally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally be on the ropes, and then pull it off. And then afterwards, you're holding the trophy, boom, the Boston Marathon thing that I keep on my desk. Yeah, pride. Like that didn't fall out of the sky. I busted it for that. And most important, I raised all this money for cancer research. So I have a deep sense of pride on that, not arrogance. No, pride. Pride is very close to gratitude, by the way. When you have your gratitude freaky high, like Friday, it's awesome. And what are you doing this weekend? Kids are healthy. We got the bills to pay. We got health insurance, good living, right? When you layer that on top of this sense of pride of like, oh my gosh, because some of you don't realize the hidden gift of what you're going through right now as a mortgage professional in 24, 25, and now 26 is the freaky pride that you're going to build for the rest of your life around surviving that. I'm not laughing in a funny way. I'm laughing in like, oh my gosh, that was a disaster. That's one of our attributes as humans. It's like, no, we're freaky, resilient beings. The pride, your future pride that you're building, not only for yourself, but your family watching, because your family's watching. And you could be like, oh no, it's not good. I've been edgy. I've been like a disaster. That's okay. You're human. We've all had those windows, but they're watching you fight, man. They're watching, okay, have a good day at school. And you're like, crap, you pay the bills. They're watching it. And you deserve to be proud. I'll just share a quick story, and then I want to hear Todd and Dave's thoughts on this. But I had a conversation with one of the top PGA players in the world. I coached 2 of the top 10 in the world. So one of my coaching calls with him right after the PGA championship. He was in contention. He didn't win it. He was not happy. He's a good dude, though. He wasn't like whining about it, but we were coaching through it. And so I said to him, I blindsided him. I said to him, I'll say his name's Pete. That's not his name because I don't share the athletes. I go, Pete, as you know, I've been coaching you for a while. I'm not a dictator, but I'm actually going to be one right now. I said, where is and I named the tournament that he had recently won. And I go, where's the trophy for that thing? And he goes, it's in my golf room. And I go, and I haven't been to his house. So I go, are you talking like a golf room? And I know his personality, so I knew he was going to say, I go, is it like a room that has like your golf crap all over the place with trophies like leaning up against the wall or like under a sheet or something? And he's like, it's number 2. And I go, okay, back to the dictator part of my coaching today. Go grab that thing. He's like, what? I go in the golf room right now, grab that thing while we're talking. He's like, what are you going to have me do? I go, just grab it first. So he goes and grabs it. I go, I saw them hand that to you on TV, so I know it's not like a coffee cup. And he's like, yeah, I think it's like crystal or something. I go, okay. I go, here's the next part. Go stick that thing right in your kitchen on the counter. He's like, I'm not doing that. I go, yeah, you are. Remember, I'm being the dictator right now. You're doing it. This isn't a conversation. This is me telling you. And then he says, Jen's going to be home and I don't know what she's going to think about it. Like, she's not there right now and you can blame it on me. Put that thing right in the middle. And not only that, grab your, like, take a picture of it and send it to me right now. No, the point of the story is he won that thing and then it's a PGA championship coming up and now I didn't win that and I'm going to get lectured by my negative voice. Now, you can't sit around looking at the trophy wonder why you're not going to win the next tournament. It's like, no, you're not getting any better sitting on the couch. But some of our medals deserve to be on our desk, at least for a couple of weeks, a month or something. So my question to you as your coach is, where are your medals? And I don't mean like I won the mortgage professional of the month or whatever, but we've all received medals in our lives. And some of you have taken zero credit for those. And that's what I'm talking about with pride, just this ownership of a job well done and effort, this incredible effort and perseverance. And then the irony of it is the pride fuels your desire to earn more pride, not as an ego collection, because it feels awesome. Like when you fight through things and you survive, like I'm 99% sure that the majority of you watching this have not given yourself full credit for the fact that you are still a mortgage professional. That's an insane pull off. Like to be able to pull that off, to say that in May of 26, based on these last couple of years, the fact that you are still a mortgage professional, rock star. So Todd and Dave, thoughts?
No, I love that. I love the fact that you made him put his trophy on the kitchen table. And I think a lot of LOs are wondering, well, what is that for me? Like, what is the thing that I have, right? I think it's really the picture of the family that you helped that they sent you when they were standing in front of the house and it was that really tough transaction that you were like, oh my gosh, I spent so much time. I didn't know if I was going to get thing over the finish line, or maybe the person who had banged up credit and you helped them over the last 2 years and you've kind of forgotten that story of the success that you created for somebody else. I think that's probably the examples to be looking for. I don't know if you've got any other ideas, Dave, for LOs to be thinking about what is it that they can put up as their trophy to look at to remind them of their pride and their success.
Yeah, I think that's such a personal thing as to what you think is going to be something that you put up to celebrate your success or remind you of things. I know my current office is not completely set up yet, but I know things like I've got a collection of mobile devices because I've always prided myself on knowing where the puck is going. And so this collection of different mobile devices and being an innovator is important to me. It reminds me of where I came from, and it is also a reminder of where I've come. And so for me, that matters a lot. My son, I can't remember what year ago it was, maybe it was like 3 years ago, for Christmas, he gave me a Lego puzzle, and it was a typewriter. And this is not, I mean, we're talking thousands of parts. I remember when I got the box, I was just like, oh my God. And and he got it for me because he knew that taking type in college, learning how to type changed my life. Like literally when technology came out, like I was probably the worst speller in any school that I ever attended. I fell in love with technology, and knowing how to type was that. And so that typewriter, even though my whole office isn't set up yet, I got that typewriter that I put together with my son, and it just reminds me of that. So those are some ideas and two things that are medals that matter to me. I would recommend right now, take Coach Jonathan's advice. What are some things that really make you proud of yourself and make you remember who you are in a positive way? And I'm going to go get that typewriter and put it out here.
Awesome. I love it. I love that story. Maybe your trophy is a yellow sticky that says, I survived 2024, 2025, and 2026 with an exclamation point. And you're like, that's it? Yeah, who cares? That's it. Like, that's better. I don't mean this in a degrading way. That's better than a Boston Marathon medal. That's why you still have the lights on in your house. That's why your kids aren't hungry right now. Doesn't mean you're killing it, by the way. And don't worry, I won't even get into my rant on this, but the idea that everyone else is killing it is that's a joke from our negative voice. Remember, social media is adult show and tell. We don't go on like, I forgot to pay the thing and now I got charged. But We don't do that. Like, we don't want to read about each other's problems on social media, but it also gives us this like degrading, like, ugh, why am I the only one with stuff going on? I coach some of the freakiest the athletes on the planet. They all have stuff going on. And you go, no, and they don't have to worry about they're not worried about their mortgage or like where they go on vacation. You go, that'd be an awesome life. Yeah, hopefully if you're not there now, you'll be back there soon or whatever. But there's always going to be stuff going on. So like just the reality of like, no, you're an absolute, again, I use the term in a complimentary way. It's not going to sound like it. You guys are freaks for surviving this thing. It's like watching an Iron Man where it's like they're banged up. It's like, doesn't matter. They're like mile 24 on the marathon. They look half dead, but guess what? They're still moving. Their arms are moving. Their feet are moving. Like some of you, again, have not given yourself credit, which is really what that third thing is about, is remembering who you are in this deep sense of pride around survival. Like, oh my gosh, they thought I was dead, but here he comes from the foxhole. I'm going to tell, Todd, feel free to jump in, and then I'll tell a quick story about this. Like, don't count them out because you got to watch this. Someone's coming up from the foxhole. But Todd, thoughts on all of this, the trophies and pride
No,
and all that?
I just think the last thing you said is what everyone forgets, right? Is that right? No, nobody's got the picture perfect life. If Deborah was here, she's at her kids playing in the World Series of Texas Little League this morning on Bird Field, ironically. But I love that you say it's adult show and tell. But I think the bottom line is that our challenge is we focus on what we don't have, and I think what you're doing such a masterful job is reminding us to focus on what we do have, even if it's something as little as the fact that the lights are on right now.
Yeah, awesome. Side note, The Gap and the Gain from Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, I think their names are. That's a world-class book on this. Like, no, stop, focus on how far you've come. I'll just, as your performance coach, at least for today, I'll just say, you don't need to survive the next week. What you deserve to do is just thrive on Friday, the 27th or the 29th. I don't even know. I guess the 29th, like one day at a time. No. What are you going to do today? Like win the day. That's it. And a big part of winning the day is the pride, the gratitude, remembering who you are. And I know we're talking through these three things again, embracing being your own extremely positive self-coach, using your gift, which is really about gratitude, and then remembering who you are so that you can realize I'm a warrior, I'm undefeated, because that last one's key. And here's the crazy thing about life. Everyone else could have given up on you, but if you haven't given up on you, you'll never quit. So you could be like, my mother-in-law thinks I'm a nut, or my brother-in-law keeps telling me I guess to go get a job outside. There's a bunch of people that will tell you you can't do it, but at the end of the day, what do you think? Not what your negative voice thinks, by the way. What do you think? Positive voice, Friday, energized, on fire. Ideally, you ask that question when you're in the right state. And you go, what do you mean by that? Well, don't go to a gunfight with a spoon. And you go, what does that mean? Don't try to sit here and have this conversation about, I'm surviving, or I'm going to get through this. If you're like, low on energy, you didn't sleep well, you're not hydrated, you have good food in your body, you haven't done a workout. It's like, no, but you just want to get in your best state. And then literally before you even have a conversation with yourself around, all right, you know what Todd and Dave and Jonathan were talking about is I do deserve to have pride around pulling this off, on getting through this. Like, God, I haven't even thought about it. I've been so busy trying to get the bills paid or whatever. Man, I should have a sense of pride. When you're having that conversation, it's important to say, all right, positive voice, what do you think? You probably don't say it out loud because your wife or your partner think you lost your mind, but you want to front that. Like even a bunch of times during our coaching session here, I've said, no, thanks, negative voice. Like you've already picked up on that pattern. You're like, okay, thanks for your input, negative voice, because negative voice is always pointing out what's wrong. Okay, yeah, good. No, we want to hear what's right. The positive voice is like, yeah, he's right. Survived all this stuff. And I think the more we are in that state, then back to what you guys do as mortgage professionals, the ability to pick up the phone, even though your negative voice goes, I think we'll do it on Monday. It's like, pick up the phone. We're in a state of gratitude. It's Friday, it's sunny out or whatever, even if it's not, who cares? Everyone's in a better mood on Friday. Friday's like the ultimate day to connect with people about anything that you want to move forward. So like do that, but make sure you're in the right state to do that. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Good on that?
Seems to me to be an easy action plan, right? Hang up from this call when we get done in 14 minutes and just call someone and say, thanks. Hey, super grateful for you in my life. And whatever that one thing that is most recent, it could have been most recent 3 months ago or 2 years ago. But this is the gratitude conversation that you could have with somebody. It may be actually the conversation they need to have because maybe their negative voice is what's leading their day today.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw one more thing in. I'm going to push you guys. Dave and Todd and I will all collectively push you. Transfer belief to other people. It's one of the most powerful attributes as a leader. Transfer belief to other people. It can be in a text, it can be a quick email, it could be like Dave's awesome at audio text, as is Todd, could be video text. Transfer some energy to some other human being in transfer belief, because your industry, a lot of people, their self-belief is pummeled right now. We try to put our best foot forward, but everyone's got stuff going on. And it's very easy, especially if your energy and your enthusiasm is in the right place, it's easy to transfer belief to people. Because it's an attribute of extremely positive self-coaching, by the way, which is viewing and treating yourself as if you already are who you have the potential to be. Like if that's all you took out of this call, it's like, oh, I could only do 40 seconds. Okay, take that. View and treat yourself as if you already are who you have the potential to be. And then do that with other people because they'll feel different. They'll feel seen. Like we're all just humans. Like whether you believe it, like I believe in God, but I'm not projecting that into you guys. If you believe universe, whatever, the God or universe, whoever built all of us, we're all the exact same. We just have different habits and tools. This guy's awesome. And unfortunately, or hopefully fortunately for him, he just signed up for a coaching session that he didn't sign up for. Now he's getting one on this plane ride. And I'm going to share tools and strategies, whether he likes it or not. The bottom line is we're all the same, but we deserve to be viewing ourselves and others as if they already are who they have the potential to be. Your text can change someone's life. Your audio text can change someone's life. Your video text can change someone's life. Your voicemail to someone can change someone's life. You go, oh, that sounds dramatic. Positive voice, what do you think? Super cool, I'm in.
I have a question. I want to make sure it gets answered before we run out of time. I know that when you coach people, you've got, at least during the time that I was actively coaching with you, you have 3 categories where people score themselves on a scale of 1 to 5. And you had like 8 questions that they asked themselves. And then where do you score on a 1 to 5? If, given the message of today, given where the industry's at, if there were 2 questions that everybody should ask themselves today and score themselves on a scale of 1 to 5, what would be those 2 questions to ask themselves? So they can just know where they stand right now.
Number 1, 0 to 5, and you could use a decimal place. Where's your energy? 5, you're like on fire, like, oh, I'm awesome. Okay. And then number 2, where's your stress? What's your stress score? 0 to 5. 0, you're like, we're leaving for vacation tomorrow, go to an island. If your stress is at a 3 or less, it's good. Ideally, it's a 1 or a 2, but 3 or less. If it's a 4 or a 5, that's the check engine lights on in the car. So you can blow it off, but you're going to end up probably on the side of the road. Hopefully not in a keeled over, by the way. I don't mean like you're going to keel over. No, but it's not going to be good. You're going to burn out. And so those 2 questions clarify, okay, where am I? And then I'll add a third, even though Dave said 2, but third is who you're being coached by. And I don't mean your performance coach or your business coach. You. Who are you? Are you being coached by your extremely positive self-coach? In simple terms, and don't worry, I'm not going to do a brush job, but like there's just 5 self-coaching styles. And the lowest level is extremely negative. So you could just write 1 through 5. 5 self-coaching styles. Number 5, extremely negative. Degrading. What's wrong with you? People dropping F-bombs at themselves, calling themselves an idiot. You're a moron. You're not going to, like, stuff you'd be like, I'd never say that to another human. People say this stuff in our head. Extremely negative. Number 2, negative. It's not going to work out. I don't really fit in. I blew that call. No wonder they didn't work with me. Oh my God, no wonder they were doing rate shopping. Blah, blah. Okay, it's debilitating. Number 3 is passive. You're not coaching yourself up or down. You're like, I don't know what this dude's talking about. I'm just calling. I'm just trying to get my scripts right and call people to serve them. So you're not really, again, coaching yourself up or down. 4 is positive. Okay, cool. We're looking at sort of what's right. Okay, it's Friday, attitude of gratitude, good living, right? But 5 is extremely positive self-coaching. And I won't share, there's 8 key attributes of extremely positive self-coaching that we won't get into, obviously, for time's sake, that I coach people on. But it's active. We already went over one of them, but it's active. You're actively coaching yourself. You're not passively doing it. It's intentional. Intentionality. I'm going to coach myself up today. I want to feel awesome for my family, for my clients, for my partners. And then it's viewing and treating yourself as if you already are who you have the potential to be. Like if you view yourself that way, then you start treating yourself that way. Hydration, food, positive content, sleep patterns, but most importantly, how do you speak to yourself? If you're at your best, you're not calling yourself an idiot. You're not saying, I don't know if this is going to work out. No, you're like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to crush this, right? Like you're psyched. But here's the fourth attribute that may be the most important one. Best friend coaching. You coach yourself like you coach your best friend. So if your best friend's wrong, you don't call her a moron or she's an idiot. You certainly don't drop an F-bomb at her. You don't raise your voice. You just go, no, no. It's like if your friend said, hey, it's kind of weird, Dave, but can you coach me on something? You go, and maybe he'd razz you a little bit. Then you go, no, seriously, Dave, I need the input. And he goes, what's up? And you tell him. So say that was me. He wouldn't be like, Jonathan, you're an idiot. Or like, he'd go, no, you're wrong. You asked me to coach you, so you're wrong. And I go, no, no, I think it. And you go, no, dude, you got to go apologize to Karen. It's very even. It's about forward progress. It's light. It's mentally light. We're just having a conversation because he cares about me. And I care, and I know he has my back, and he's one of my best friends. He just serves me. And then, but it's, we're going up. And then on the flip side, though, best friend coaching, if you do something cool, even small or big, you're psyched, right? Like when your friend texts you or calls and says, hey, guess what? Lisa got that partnership or whatever, like, that's cool. You call them, you're like, that's insane. We pour the energy in because we're psyched. Then we don't do that for ourselves. So that's like the attribute of extremely positive self-coaching. Again, it's active, it's intentional, it's viewing and treating yourself as if you already are who you have the potential to be. And then it's best friend coaching. Call it nerdy, call it whatever you want. It works. Coach yourself like you coach your best friend. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm killing it. And I don't mean, well, what is the data? Where am I on the list for the company? No, we're not looking at the results. We're looking at effort. We're killing it because we're showing up as our best self. How could you not be killing it? You're coaching yourself up for 120 hours a week. It's math at that point. Dave, Todd, thoughts on this?
Yeah, it always hits me when you say that, like we would never talk to other people the way that we often talk to ourselves. So I think you have to, all of you who are listening to this, whether you're watching it live or listen to it on one of the podcast platforms or on YouTube, is really think about how you're treating yourself. And then the other one that hit me differently today, and you've said it to me dozens of times, is the whole celebrate your wins like your best friend would. Because I know when something cool happens in my world that Dave's going to call me, give me a virtual high five, big hug through the phone. And I don't know that I do that enough to myself. And so I really love, those ideas. And then, you finished off with, effort over results. And I think that's really in the end, all you can control, right? Whatever time you're listening to this, you can control what you do next. And so I think it's an opportunity to change the script.
Love it. So Jonathan, we are getting close to the top of the hour in our time together. Anything that you haven't said that you wanted to make sure gets shared before we run out of time?
I will say, and Dave and Todd can also attest to this, but it's a quick journey. Hopefully we're here for another 50-ish years, but we don't know. Like my oldest is graduating from high school tonight. It's insane. Like he's like bigger than me now. Like it's quick. So the idea that we're delaying our happiness until the market turns or until like until we could go on vacation again or whatever. I don't have all the answers, but I got enough reps on this plan in 54 years to know the good old days are right now. Like we always think the good old days happened or the good old days are ahead of us when we accomplish whatever. Like it's now. It's awesome, man. It's Friday. It's May 29th. The summer's coming. Survive the mortgage industry. Oh, I didn't survive yet. Guess what? Unless a bus comes out of one of these side streets and runs you over, you are going to survive it. That's what I tell myself at the end of the Boston Marathon. Either I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting smoked right now. Unless something runs me over somehow, I'm going to get to that. I don't even know where the banner is. I'm so banged up, but I know it's somewhere up there. And as long as I just keep moving. Some of you at this moment just need to realize, don't delay your happiness. That's a fool's game from your negative voice. Don't do that. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be awesome. But what you do deserve to be is coaching yourself up and being an extremely positive self-coach. You do deserve to use your gift in the gratitude of like, man, there's a lot going right. This is awesome. And then number 3, just realizing who you are, remembering who you are. You're an absolute warrior. You're undefeated. You're a freak. And again, I use that in a complimentary way if you're just jumping in now. No, you're a freak. Like, this is awesome, man. You just do those three things. I'm here to serve. I love it. I have the coolest job on the planet. I get to hang out in this office, vibing with world-class people, guiding them as their performance coach. But some of you deserve to have an epic Friday the 29th, and hopefully Todd and Dave and I have served you correctly to kind of pump you up on that, to realize like you're gonna pull this thing off, man. You're gonna have your medal here at the end of this thing, and then you get to carry that medal and that sense of pride with you for the rest of your time on this planet. You survived this insane experience over these 2 years.
All right, Dave, what are your final words? I'm just brimming with the biggest smile I've had all week. So I'm super excited to just reflect on my pages of notes.
Well, my closing thought is that the people that are winning right now, it's all about mindset. And I think what we talked about for the past hour was all about mindset. And Jonathan gave us some good tools. He reminded us some things that we already know. I love that thought that, who's your coach and what type of coaching is your coach doing? And remember, your number one coach that you have for life is you. No one's going to save you. While professional coaches are incredibly valuable, content like this and podcasts are incredibly valuable. You are your number one coach. That was my personal reminder and biggest takeaway. And always grateful for you, Jonathan.
Well, I love spending time with you freaks, both of you, plus all of you who are listening. And I just want to, Jonathan, just thank you for the fact that you've been pouring into my life all these years. Obviously, Dave, super grateful for your friendship, mentorship, partnership. And I would just encourage you now, Jonathan said, it's all about effort. And so I would encourage you to take the effort. Let's just do one little thing, reach out to someone. Let's express some gratitude today, make someone else's life a little bit brighter, and just go out there, treat yourself like the person that you have the potential to be. And as always, thanks for being part of the Loan Officer Mastermind community, Win by Noon, Trust Engine, and Peak Lock In. Go check Jonathan out. We'll make sure we got all his info in the notes.
Connect with Jonathan. And if you're looking for a coach, he is an amazing one. Take care,
All
everybody.
right.
Have a good weekend.